watching CBC TV 8 in beautiful Barbados.
And a very good afternoon to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC News Break. The National Union of Public Workers says it intends to work to ensure staff of the state-owned Sanitation Services Authority is not displaced or disadvantaged as the SSA rolls out a pilot refuse collection project with the private sector. Under the project, 4 companies, Williams Liquid and Solid Waste Management Incorporated, Garbage Master Limited, Ford's Freighting and Rental Services and Project Recycle Limited were contracted by the Sanitation Services Authority to collect refuse. Acting Assistant General Secretary of the NUPW, Wayne Waldron, says the SSA should have instead been given the necessary resources and equipment. He says SSA workers have served Barbados diligently over the years and the union is distressed by the move. The NUPW met with a number of workers where their concerns were highlighted.
What we also find disrespectful, if you're going to move to make a decision that significantly impact and put workers idle by the side, on the sideline to be idle, you should have a discussion with the union. Look, we are moving to this point, we have a situation, bring the unions on board because this impact on workers' livelihood in terms and conditions. In fact, if it escalates and there's proliferation of having these private sector respond to more areas, you're speaking to the demise of SIA, SSA, the Sanitation Service Authority, where even the management persons and other support staff and technical staff would be out of work. But this is not just an issue of saving jobs, this is an issue where the state has, over the years, taken a sensible decision to have a direct say in the garbage collection because it's so critical to our health, it's so critical to our nation.
Mr. Walden says the NUPW is moving to address the situation.
We are strategizing right now. There are a number of strategies, and therefore we would not want to disclose publicly about any strike action, but there are various actions and strategies that we have in place that as time progresses we would look at implementing those strategies, but at this point we will just work with the process to determine to get the best result for the workers.
And that new pilot refuse collection project got underway at the start of this week. The 4 companies will be collecting garbage in the parishes of St. Lucie, St. Peter, St. John and St. Philip, Mondays to Fridays from 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. General Manager at the SSA, Roslyn Knight, is encouraging members of the public to support the initiative. She says the aim is to provide collection once per week and avoid situations where people are not getting collections for 2 and sometimes 3 weeks. Ms. Knight explained that with the private trucks working in the 4 parishes, the SSA's trucks and crew were reallocated to cover and maintain the island's remaining 7 parishes. In addition, Ms. Knight explained that a skip program would be established primarily in areas such as Eden Lodge, St. Michael and Nelson Street in the city, as well as Gall Hill and Silver Hill in Christchurch, where there were usually large pileups of garbage and communal dumping areas. An elderly man reported missing by police last night has been found, but it was not the result his family had been hoping for. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler has confirmed that the body of 79-year-old Gordon Allen was found in a ravine close to his home at Church Gap, Hillaby, St. Thomas this morning. He says Allen's body was discovered by a search party which was led by police and included his son. Acting Inspector Cobbler notes that Mr. Allen was suffering from Alzheimer's, and he is urging people whose relatives are similarly afflicted to use all the available resources to get help in taking care of them. Well, the Barbadian man held at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport in Guyana on Sunday attempting to smuggle cocaine out of that country has been jailed. Kyle Archer appeared in court on Monday where he pleaded guilty to having 914 grams of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. The drugs were found in undergarments strapped to his leg. Archer, an outgoing passenger, was bound for Barbados. He was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment and fined $30,000. Well, a call is being made for more good behavior to be highlighted in schools. Prefect coordinator and teacher at the Ellerslie Secondary School, Lisa Doughton, says this is necessary as it will serve to encourage more good behavior in the student population. Her comments came at the school's training seminar for 60 prefects at the Grand Salle of the Central Bank of Barbados.
You will find a teacher saying in a class, what's your name again? Because the child behaves so well, they're just so quiet, you don't know who they are. But then the ones who give a lot of trouble, everybody knows their name. For me, my aim is that we get away from that and we focus a bit more on our children who behave well, who give back, who are the ones who listen and are attentive to the teacher, helpful to the teacher.
And some of the students shared some of the lessons they gained from that session.
I gathered that even though who you are as a leader, that you can learn things every day from each other, and that it's good to influence others.
It was very helpful, the point that I didn't know some of the things that were said, like the lead part, about your potential. I just thought, you would go in and other people want to take feedback if they don't like it, or if they do.
The Barbados Information Communication and Technology Professionals Association closed the curtain on its inaugural internship program by awarding its most outstanding students with the Harriet Gittins BIPA Memorial Award at the Baobab Towers in Warrens. Monique Holder and Deandra Bavell were the first recipients based on their sterling work during that internship. BIPA Vice President Margaret Leon said the program served to fill the void of ICT graduates not being able to have practical work in their respective fields on leaving school.
In so doing, we would have encouraged our membership to be aware of that reality and work to take on the persons from the various institutions, namely the Barbados Community College, and our last internship round would have been with the University of the West Indies. We are hoping also to work with the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic.
And President Philip Lewis says BIPA's mandate is to improve awareness and adoption of ITC on the island.
He is a key socio-economic enabler within society and within the business environment. There are several metrics that have been used globally to prove this. One of them is the World Bank, which states that every 10% broadband penetration, increase in broadband penetration and use, results in 1.5% increase in GDP growth.
The Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados, or CDUSAB, has saluted the contribution to Barbados of late educator, trade unionist and credit unionist John Lovell. CDUSAB says Mr. Lovell was a past president of the Barbados Union of Teachers and a stalwart of that organization. It says Mr. Lovell will be remembered as an outstanding Barbadian who was dedicated to the cause of serving people. CDUSAB says he was passionate about representing the interests of workers, empowering workers, lobbying and advocating for change. The umbrella trade union body says as a visionary of the post-independent era in Barbados, his legacy speaks to the instrumental role he played in mobilizing and empowering teachers. History will record that he used the leverage provided under the umbrella of the Barbados Union of Teachers to successfully champion the establishment of the Barbados Teachers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. CDUSAB has extended its condolences to the family of the late John Lovell and the Education and Credit Union fraternity. Well, with 400 employees on its payroll, A1 Supermarket has a huge stake in the island's future success. This from Managing Director of the company, Andrew Bino, as he and several staff members took part in the CBC's Guardians of Our Heritage initiative. Mr. Bino says the now 35-year-old company, like Barbados, has a rich history and is committed to weathering the storms going forward.
Obviously, there are times when we would have rolled off the skates in the wrong direction, but I am confident that we Barbadians know what to do, and therefore we can look forward to going further, with the bar promise. Looking at ourselves within the mirror, yes, when we do that, we can see what needs to be done. So I am looking forward to beyond today. Now, I ought to say that among us here today, we have staff who've been with us for 35 years. Our company was formed in 1981. So out of this 50, we have been battling it along for the last 35. And we are happy that as a Barbadian company, we can see 35 years of good, solid contribution to this community.
And welcoming the A1 Supermarket team, news reporter Lisa Broom thanked them for their partnership with the corporation and their contribution to the island.
I thought that initiatives like the CBC where we put Barbadians doing positive things on television for other Barbadians to see and emulate and be proud of. And then I thought about A1 Supermarket being a wholly owned Barbadian company, employing Barbadians, having Barbadians in leadership positions. I think things like that, those are things that the Mr. Barrow would want to see reflected in that mirror as we look back at ourselves. Those types of things and this, the guardians of our heritage, I think he would be well pleased.
Well, stay with us. We'll have regional and international stories right after the break.